my first job, I worked at a pub. Now, this pub was good, but it was also bad. Let's just say the manager was really but the people who went there were kind of good. Mostly filled with depressive mums and drunks, and also a gang. Now, personally, I don't really hate the pub. Now I hate the pub, obviously, because it looks like a shit. But back when I was working there 2 years ago, it looked the best. Best condition, best drinks, on time. They had their own Facebook. I remember following their Facebook and typing a review saying, the drinks are shit. I got a call instantly from my manager saying, don't say that. That's bad for our Facebook page. And I'm like, how the f*** did you know? The thing with this is that I was the only actual 14, 15-year-old to actually work at that pub. It was quite scary at first to think that I was a 14, 15-year-old working at a pub with a bunch of 21 to 22-year-olds. Now, these 21 to 22-year-olds were university brats, if you know what I mean. They were like, no, if you're going to do that, you put it in the right area. If you're going to do glass collecting, you put it right. You've got to do about 4 lots in 10 minutes. You know, it was just rushing and rushing. The thing is, though, if we didn't get that done, we'd be in trouble. Now, I would do my shift. Except from, I would get in trouble for doing my shift. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a very sneaky boy back in the day, and I'd always try and leave work early because I hated it so much, but I also kind of enjoyed it. Now, the reason why I hated it is because I pissed myself. I know you're thinking, I pissed myself at my first job. This would be classic. Now, the reason why I pissed myself is because they gave you free Pepsi. I wasn't allowed to drink, obviously, I was too young. A bit of a fucking annoying. However, everyone else was drinking, like, Carling, Strongbow, all that good stuff. And I was stuck drinking Coke. I mean, obviously, I preferred lemonade, but of course, it ran out. So, eventually, I pissed myself. Now, this happened at a table. Now, here's the embarrassing part. At my mum's table. Now, my mum and her boyfriend, they went to this pub very often. They don't go to it anymore. Like I explained, it's shit. So I would just walk over there and say, I'll pick up the glasses. And eventually, I just piss myself. I'm just like, holy shit. Now, here's the thing. I'm a big guy, so I sweat a lot. I'm not saying fat-wise, I mean muscly, you know, Dwayne Johnson style. No, I am a bit fat. But the point is, though, is that I was walking around and I would sweat so much that everything was wet on me. My hair, my hat, my hair, glasses, everything was so sweaty. And eventually, no one realised except from one person. Now, this one person, I still want to know, but I never can. Now, the thing is, though, he reminded me a lot of myself. See, it felt like I met my future self. If that's me and my future self, I wouldn't mind it, except from I'd rather do YouTube than go to university and do being a doctor. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into that dot stuff, blood and shit. Ugh. Bad enough I have to look at my own blood. Ugh. Nah, I'm good. So this guy, I met him on the bus. We were going to the same work, and I was like, right, this is creepy now. This guy's been following me. I'm like, no, he works, and I'm like, this guy's been following me since home. He walks out. Like, I walk out my front door. See, I live on a road with a doctor's. So I walk out. The guy is literally right there. And I'm like, nah. There's something going on here. So I walk. We wait at the same bus stop. Get on the same bus. Then we go to the same work. And then I'm just walking to my work. And he's still following me. I'm like, I'm about to get nonced. I'm about to get nonced on my first day of work. But then I go to the pub. And then they tell me he works here. I'm like, and I try and speak to the guy, and he's like, yeah, I work here. And I ask, what's your name? Alex. And I'm like, what? My name? And he looked so much like me. I was so scared that I felt like Stewie Griffin has used his multiverse teleporter to come here. That's how scared I was about the pub thing. Now, with my first job, I actually kind of enjoyed it because there were some nice people who complimented you. If you had a big feet, you had a big dick. That's what they always said. And if you tried to get with the old women who were smoking and drinking and probably have their pet kids taken away, well, they were nice to you as well because they were like, oh, darling, thank you for taking me, cop. There were grandmas there, for God's sake. There was a karaoke bar where they just sing. And I remember going in there, and I just remember hearing Sweet Carolina for like half an hour straight. Like the same song over and over and over and over again. I'm walking in trying to get glasses. They try and get me to sing. And I'm like, I'm on duty, I can't. But then eventually, obviously, the pie came out. And I was like, Sweet Caroline. And then, no, my boss walks in. And he's like, get back to work. What you doing? You know, he doesn't say it like that, but he's like, me messing around, and he's like, get to work. While she's trying to get a one-night stand. So, this job was good because it also made me see the bright lights. Because when it turned about 12 to 11 o'clock, nighttime happened. Dark, there were lights, there was a football pitch. It was so cool. Except, the manager decided to leave. So then I got fired from this job. And I was like, this is unreal. This is my job. So, I started crying. I came home and I cried at my mum. I was like, Mum, that's my job. That's my job. She was like, how'd you lose that? I said, I sat on my ass too much. And that's how I lost my job. And I pissed myself because I drank too much. Also, if you go to a pub, don't ever go to the toilet in their bathrooms.